What is PHP? Well, to begin with, PHP is the most popular web development language in the world. As of December 2004, there were over 18 million unique domains and 1.3 million IP addresses on web servers that have PHP installed. That is a lot of websites using PHP. PHP is used by sites all over the world. It is used by individuals for personal websites, by large corporations such as Bank of America Business Capital, and by educational facilities such as Brock University in Ontario, Canada. PHP is easy enough to learn for the part-timer web developer to play around with, but powerful enough for the Fortune 500 companies to trust their mission-critical applications to. PHP stands for PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. But what is a hypertext preprocessor? Well, hypertext refers to HTML, and the fact that it is a preprocessor means that it is dealt with before the hypertext, or HTML. This means that PHP lies between the web server and the HTML. I will explain this in a moment. PHP is an interpreted programming language. Interpreted means that rather than having to compile it like languages such as C or Visual C++, you save your application in text format, and Apache, or whatever web server you use, reads the text file and deals with the programming on the fly. This is actually a very flexible way of programming and saves a lot of time debugging and developing, eliminating the need to compile or encode your programs. The disadvantage is that if you want to distribute your code, it is in plain text, not in binary. This means that if you are selling your code, the customer can easily steal the code and claim it as their own. There are programs available now by companies such as Zend and IonCube that will encrypt your code for distribution to make it unreadable and harder to steal. It is important to understand exactly what I mean by PHP being an interpreted language, and to do so, you also need to understand the fundamentals of how a web page is served. The first step is that a user requests a web page from your web server. Your web server then retrieves the requested page and serves it back to the requesting user. With PHP, there is one added step. It starts off the same, with the user requesting the web page. The web server retrieves the page, and here's where we have the extra added step. This is where the web server realizes that the page is a PHP one, and that it has to have the PHP programming dealt with. So it runs the web page through the PHP interpreter, which executes the PHP code in the page, then returns the results of that execution to the web server. The web server then proceeds to serve the results of the interpreted PHP code to the user. So you can see the web page is not simply passed to the end user, but the PHP code is executed, and the results are what's passed to the end user. This is what we mean when we talk about PHP being an interpreted language. Just like when you are listening to the news on the television, if the language being spoken is a foreign one, there is a voiceover interpreting that speaker's words into your language. That is what PHP does. It changes your code, or language, into code, or language, that a web browser can understand. So fundamentally, PHP is as easy to learn as a foreign language. You need to learn the syntax, or how to speak it, and have to learn the functions and operations, or the nouns and the verbs of it.